Yo, what up? It's your boy Jeffrey, aka Papa J, and you are tuned into another episode of Just Talking with Jeffrey. Let's go! Yo, my people, what's going on, man? I'm excited to have you guys back tuned into another episode. And today I'm doing things in reverse, going back to what should have been episode one, but you know your boy. I don't really care about, order. Nah, I lied. I do. But man, listen, I just felt that I had to kind of bring it back, bring it all back, right? And kind of get you started with, you know, from the bottom, from the beginning of what should have been the beginning, right? But before I get into that, listen, if you haven't done so already and you're tuning into this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit subscribe, share this, do what you gotta do, show your boy support. And if you are listening to me on Spotify, hey, listen, stay tuned every week for a new episode. Download, share it as well. You know, let all your peoples know I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple Music, anywhere. Honestly, you get your podcast, I'm there. But listen, without further ado, like I said, man, this episode it should have been my first episode, but I just I was kind of a little all over the place with how things, were going for me. And I said, you know what? All right, let me put out what I had for episode one, and then just kind of got lost in the sauce. And then somebody said to me, man, well, Jeffrey, why did it all get started? How did you get to that point? And I said, man, you know what? That's a great question. And you know what? My next episode will be about that because I want for y'all to understand. I want to lay the groundworks, get you guys the understanding as to why I got started, um, and where do I plan on actually taking this. So this episode may not be as lengthy, but listen, still gonna be me keeping it funky, keeping it fresh, and keeping it real. Um, so yeah, man. Here we go. 2020. Um, I was just like every other person in the world, sitting at home thinking to myself, man, listen, while locked up, during the pandemic, thinking to myself, man, how can I fill in that gap, fill in the time that I have, you know, where I'm sitting around doing absolutely nothing? What can I do? How can I, pass the time? And then I started seeing and hearing everybody, who's jumping into the podcast world. Um, and I just said to myself, man, listen, why should that not be me? I have a voice just like everybody else. Got things I can talk about. And then I got people I can talk to that has a lot of things that they can talk about. And maybe they don't have the, discipline, the mindset, or whatever it may be to actually start a podcast. So why not me start it and then have them come on and actually talk on my podcast? So fast forward. Listen, here we are. But kind of in the meantime, in between time, um, this was not my first idea of or first podcast that I actually wanted to start. Right. So just talking with Jeffrey is actually my second podcast. Right. My very first podcast that and honestly, I never actually recorded an episode. Um, and honestly, thankfully, I didn't because I would have kind of put myself in a box with going down that route with that particular podcast. And because what I wanted to talk about in that podcast, and maybe eventually I might actually jump in on that, and maybe there might be a couple of episodes here and there that I talk about it. But I didn't want to box myself in, so I said to myself, you know what, hey, Jeffrey, Papa J, listen, um, give the people what they want, right? It's entertainment. A lot of people really want to hear, the good stuff. Some people don't want to get, bogged down with all the heavy. And by all means, listen, you already know me. Those of y'all who do know me, I like to get, deep into things. I like to get people to think deeply. But at the same time, I like people to have fun. I like to have fun myself. So I, like I said, decided, to go down this route of, hey, let's just talk, right? Because what better way of getting somebody to be comfortable, even myself, get myself comfortable to be able to, just sit and talk, right, about whatever's going on in the world today. Whether it be the sky turning purple or, the cat jumping over the moon. Listen, what better way to just sit and talk than to just talk with your boy. And like I said, I find it to be a lot easier for people to open up when you give them an atmosphere, when you give them a space to where they're not talking about an uncomfortable trying to have this uncomfortable conversation with them, right? People tend to be a lot more comfortable when you are just, hey, shooting the breeze with them and just, hey, listen, what's going on? Let's talk about what you want to talk about. Honestly, whether it's finance, whether it's sports, whether it's, whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is, they would like to talk about, what better way of making them, just open up than to just have an open, honest dialogue. And that's what this podcast is all about. Just once again, being, open, honest, and keeping things funky and fresh and real, right? That's just what I'm about, and that's what this podcast will be about. I could just, like I said, I can be honest with you. I've never, and it becomes a lot more important for me as a male to have that space to where I am able to just be open and real. Why? Because especially men, we don't have that opportunity. Let me not say we don't have the ability, because men have the ability to do a lot. We don't necessarily have the opportunity to just be open, honest, and real without the judgment, without the extra eyes, without all the negativity that may come behind us being open, honest, and real. So I'm hoping that this platform, that my podcast is going to allow the many different guests that I have come on to be open, honest, real. And I can just definitely say that, the first couple of episodes y'all seen that I had, and that's actually not a YouTube episode. Unfortunately, I didn't record it. I'm super upset about that. But the first two episodes I didn't have recorded a video recording, and I didn't have it posted on YouTube. But once again, you can catch it on Spotify or Apple Music. But when I was, talking with my wife, obviously it's very easy, me being able to talk with my wife. But, me just having that open dialogue and conversation with my siblings. Once again, yeah, it's my brothers, my sister, whatever. Easy to talk to them. But when there were certain things in the conversations that we had that honestly, most wouldn't want to have go on outside of our circle. So, for me, when I was able to just kind of lay it out in a comfortable manner, they were just, they, at one point, it just felt like we weren't even doing a podcast, right? We recording anything. It just felt like we were just talking like siblings. And once again, as us men, as I try to get as many men together and on this podcast, I am the goal, and obviously it won't be just men I have on here. I obviously have women as well, but the goal is to whoever it is to be able to come on here, mainly talk about why they do what they do, why they're interested in what they're interested in, and then go from there, right? And then, just have those conversations, those open dialogues with them, so that once again, I just I'm able to delve into their world, get a little bit more information, more insight on in their world. But then you as well, as the viewer, as the listener, are also able to get that information as well. Because listen, like I said, it's a lot of information out there that a lot of people are not tuned into, not able to actually gain access to. And actually, with YouTube being out there, a lot of people are able to actually gain a lot of access to a lot of information, as long as you're going out there looking for it. But hey, listen, why not be another avenue, another channel to where, you know, uh, if you need it, it's there for you. Your boy is going to get it for you. All right. And listen, if I don't know somebody, I know somebody that can get it for you. Listen, I ain't doing my job right. I ain't doing my job right. So, listen, that with all that being said, and that was a lot that was said. Listen, I'm gonna take a quick time out, boop, boop, quick break, and I'm gonna allow y'all to take a quick break and just take a quick breather, and then I'll come right back to you. All right, let go. All right, my people, welcome back. Like I said, it was gonna be a short break. I know you missed me. So listen, here we go, man. Right. Um, so for those of y'all who don't know me fully, um, I'm a Capricorn. Yeah, you already know the best sign. The best sign, born in the best month out the year, right? Because if this month was not here, no other months would be uh, here as well. No months would follow. Um, so January, right? Um, Born Miami, Florida. Shout out 305, right? Um, and I can definitely say the many years that I spent in Miami, my entire life being in Miami, um, I can say was a thrill, right? Obviously, Miami in itself, in its own rights, its own state, its own country, its own world, was exciting, right? Many ups and downs, lived through many different um, struggles, challenges, things that most kids nowadays don't ever see, will ever go through. Um, and I can definitely say it built me up to be the person who I am today. Another story for another day, but yeah, man, born in Miami, Florida, uh, one of four siblings, five kids total in the house. Um, Wait, one of five kids in the house. It's a total of six of us from my dad, right? And like I said, man, it was just a house of headaches, but yet a house of fun. I can never say, there was a dull moment in our household, right? Between the scuffles with me and my brothers to, um, man, the scuffles between me and people on the block, um, at school. I mean, it was just, ooh, man, Miami, like I said, from birth till, man, 27, 20, 2014 was when I finally moved out of Miami. From birth till 2014, it was just a journey and like no other. And if you are an outsider looking into Miami and thinking, oh, Miami is cake, Miami is this, Miami is that. Listen, you don't know Miami until you actually step foot in Miami and lived that Miami life. And I'm talking about from uh, holes in the walls to uh, gunshots at night, past your window, and honestly being able to sleep through it without even realizing it was it was gunshots the night before, to people breaking into your house while you in the house. Man, listen, when I tell you it was berserk, it was berserk. But like I said, I lived through it. Not only me, my siblings, we all lived through it, and it made us better, made us stronger, made us who we are today. And I can tell you, I ain't gonna say we were the life of any party, but we were in our neighborhood. We were the family to know, right? We were the group of siblings that we were the group of siblings that everybody wanted to hang around. I don't think anybody on the block did not what any kids that was in our age group that ran with us did not come over to the house, sleep over. I mean, hang out for let's say 85% of their day. I mean, the house, the corner house, that was, listen, our house was lit without being that actual go-to spot, right? It was one of those. It was one of those houses that you would never actually make plans to go to, but always had plans of being at, because between me and my siblings, man, everybody just wanted to be around us. And that's no, bragging and boasting. That was just reality, right? That was just the truth. There was maybe 3 houses, 4 houses in our neighborhood people would always be at. 2 were candy ladies. Then we had my house, and then the other one was a kind of unsavory home, but we ain't gonna talk on that. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk on that. But yeah, man. I mean, our family was always uh, one of the ones people always wanted to be around, and um, we were always tight knit. Like, me and my siblings never. I mean, to this day, if you go back and listen back to the other episode where I did have my brothers and my sister on, um, you could just hear it in our conversation, right? Just in that talk, how tight we were, right? And honestly, how tight we still are. I promise you, if I call any one of my siblings right now, I don't think any one of them, unless their phone is dead, any one of them would not answer the phone and just shoot the breeze with me for, I don't know, till one of our phones die. Like, that's just how tight we are. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that with their siblings, hell, with their family. And, that's an unfortunate thing, but that's, just how things go. I've always been big with, being tight with my family members, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, just always being tight with them. And I think that's just going to, and that's just kind of how we were raised, because, you're talking about a big family in a small home. We were always on top of each other. So it was like, all right, we were always tight with each other. So yeah, man, our family was just like that, man. We were that family. And I can tell you, right, I listen, it was definitely a struggle for us, because it was mom, dad living, or sorry, working in a not so lucrative industry, to where you talking about having to feed and clothe 4 boys. Oof. A lot of parents, that's a headache for them, right? but feed and clothe 4 boys and a girl, and keep 4 boys, growing boys, from having to tear each other head off almost every day. You know, the only person in the house that really wasn't into the arguing and the fighting and the wrestling, which we had to like drag this kid every day to do something like with us, football, basketball. I mean, just come outside, was my little brother. Um, but it was tough for my parents because once again, we were the family to be around. So it brought on a certain group of people that's my parents sometimes just were not okay with. I remember we one time we had we were playing football right outside the house, um, and I kid you not, it was about 30, 40 dudes outside the house playing football with us. And my parents came home and they were scared out their minds because they're like, where are all of these kids coming from? Why are they playing football on the side of my house? Um, like the neighbors were like nervous because they saw so many kids, like so many boys outside the house, and some of them were known in the neighborhood to be like jack boys, you know, the ones that break in the house, and yeah, they just were not the ones who we should have been running with, but hey, we ran with them. Um, but one thing that they did know is our house was untouchable. Don't touch our house because we find out it's a wrap for you. My older brother, second oldest brother, he was definitely the one like, yo, listen, you mess with me, it's a wrap. You mess with my family, it's a wrap. And people ain't mess with us because of that. Um, but like I said, we were always. I mean, it was just that. It was just that way. But like I said, it was always a struggle for my mom and my dad. Having to deal with us because we were not. We weren't hard headed. We weren't that bad. Um, but we did do some dumb stuff. We did from time to time make some very dumb decisions. One one thing that a lot of people didn't know was we did dog fights in the backyard. We had a red nose and pit bulls. I mean, those of y'all who know, like I said, lived in Miami, y'all knew. I mean, those pit bulls were illegal back then, but yeah, we definitely had pit bulls. Um, we had dog fights in the backyard, but we ain't gonna speak on that. Um, but it was like I said, man, it was fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. Um, throwing hurricane parties every year, man. Those were amazing. Those were amazing. Those were the days. Hurricane was about to come. Everybody sitting around in the house, prank calling. Domino's Pizza, whoever it was, to 4 or 5 houses down the block. And just kind of seeing how those people reacted. Man, like I said, those were the days. I can definitely. Oh man, hold on. I think I wore the perfect shirt for this episode, right? Because I always said to myself, I wish I didn't grow up fast, and adulting, I definitely wouldn't recommend. Right? I would not recommend it. Um, because like I said, I always look back and I look at my kids now, and I'm always saying to myself, and I'm always saying like, man, I wish I could go back and be a kid. And honestly, I would not. I would be okay with being in a school all over again because hanging with my friends, just chilling, maxing, relaxing, no actual cares in the world, except going to school, getting good grades, and if I can go back to being able to play football all over again, I would, and kind of be a little bit more serious with that, and just to see how far it would take me. Um, but I definitely do miss being a kid and would not mind going back to being a kid because it was just a lot of fun. I mean, being an adult, honestly, it sucks sometimes. You have the benefits of being an adult, but the ugly side of it, man, I just like the responsibilities. I really don't want to have them right now. If I can, give them away to somebody, if I can pawn them off to somebody, I would. Um, like I said, being a kid back then, when back home, back in Miami, it was just fun. Um, and I wish I could go back to it, but whatever. It is what it is. I grow older, and I gotta put my big boy pants on, and that's all right. Because hey, somebody got to do it. But man, Miami were the days. I miss just being on the block with my friends. I miss um, the friends that honestly aren't even around anymore, and those are the ones that unfortunately, like I said, Miami, it was different in a sense where it was survival of the fittest. Um, it was eat or be eaten, and I can definitely tell you it ate a lot of my friends up, to where unfortunately a lot of them are no longer around. Um, and that comes from making the wrong decisions, um, growing up a little bit too fast, um, thinking too far ahead of their age, and not having that right opportunity of being a child, not understanding of how to stay in a child's lane, being in the child's lane. And honestly, for some of them, it wasn't by choice, right? They were forced into that. Where if mom wasn't around or if dad wasn't around, that was the majority of the case. Dad wasn't really around, so a lot of my friends had to grow up being dad in the house, which, as some people know now, growing up having to be dad, it forced mom to say, "Hey, listen, I need you to obviously become older a lot faster and start making money." And for kids, the only way they can make money is the not so legal way, which is an unfortunate thing. Um, but like I said, I unfortunately lost a lot of friends, at a very very early age because of that, and that was tough. That was tough, growing up, knowing that all right, he ain't around no more. Heck, she not around no more. Um, but that's just how Miami treated you, and honestly, it's still treating people that way. Um, which is why I don't miss living in Miami anymore. I'll visit every now and then. Obviously, I got family and friends still down there, so I'll visit Miami, um, when I need to. Um, but to say I'm gonna live down there ever again, that's a negative. I'm fine with where I'm at. Long gone, not too far away. So if I need to get down there, I can. It's a hop, skip away. But I'm okay with where I'm at right now in life, and uh, I'm just gonna keep enjoying it. I'm going to embrace life as it comes and just continuously be positive. But with that being said, listen, I think y'all had enough of me tonight, and I gave y'all a little bit of history into my life and what it was, and um, as weeks go on, as I continuously put out other episodes, you will get more and more of your boy Jeffrey, aka Papa J. Um, and like I said, just continue to tune in, share. Uh, I don't want this to fall on deaf ears, man. You shouldn't be the only person getting all the fun. So um, share the info, man. Share the link. Share the link. Share the page. Share the channel. Um, share, share, share. it's only right, man. It's only right. That's the only way I grow. That's the only way I'm able to, like, upgrade everything and upgrade my life and upgrade your life and, just continuously have fun. Yeah, man. That's your boy. That's your boy. So listen, with all that being said, man, you're tuned in to another episode of Just Talking with Jeffrey. Uh, it's your boy Jeffrey, aka Papa J. I'm out of here. Y'all boys enjoy. Y'all boys have fun. Oh, y'all boys and girls, y'all just have fun. Y'all enjoy life. Y'all always keep it funky, keep it fresh, keep it real. We out here.